In this section I will talk about grouping and bulk editing. Common problem in pay-per-click advertising is that you often start with few keywords, but then your keywords multiply and you get thousands and thousands of keywords. For example, if you sell car insurance in United States, just the keyword insurance would be a bad choice because it's too broad. Much better choice would be car insurance New York because it's targeted. However, the problem with that is that you have many combinations like that. You can have truck insurance Connecticut, van insurance Massachusetts, and so on. So in this simple example, you easily have 600 keywords. What's even more, when you add long tail keywords, misspellings, or competition keywords, your keyword list can easily get a few thousand keywords. What's the problem with that? Well, there are two main problems. First, every time you review your account with so many keywords, it's time consuming to go through all of them. And the second problem is when you need to make some change, it's also time consuming to make that change on all of them. We thought about that, and our solution to that problem is for reviewing keywords, feature called grouping. And for changing many keywords at once, we have a feature called bulk editing. So I'll switch to PPC Manager to show how can we use that features. Here we have a simple campaign which has more than 1000 keywords. And that's quite a big list of keywords. I will show grouping by enabling grouping by value and then by match type. That will sort all that 1000 keywords into three main groups because there are only three possible match types: exact, phrase, and broad. You see how many items are there in every group. But what is important is that for every group row, now you have summary statistics like summary impressions, clicks, or cost, which shows total for all the keywords in that group. So here you can see that exact, phrase, or broad keywords differ in impression and in clicks, but also in their quality, in that click-through rate. If we navigate in PPC Manager to another node like child ad group, grouping will be recalculated. Now we have smaller ad groups which contain only 64 items. We can also switch grouping not to group by match type, but to group by keyword. Notice that now we have many more groups, but that groups are smaller. For example, first group is batch convert XLSX files, and that group contains all the matches for that particular keyword. So for this root keyword, we have three matches which are child keywords. And now if we want to change all items inside that group, we can easily go to this edit box, type file, and all the items in the group are automatically changed. So you can do that on all other fields which are editable in a group row. Let me show you some other groupings. For example, top 10 groupings by clicks. Idea is that when you review ad groups, you probably want to see top items for every ad group and have some summary statistics for all other keywords. Exactly what you have here. So we have group top 10, which shows top 10 keywords, and in total they have more than 300 clicks. And you have other group which contains all other 182 keywords, and you have their total which is only 177 clicks. So of course it pays more to pay attention to this top group, and for this other group we can decide, for example, that we want to pause all the keywords. So now all the keywords in this other group are paused. Similar grouping is 80-20 rule, for example, by the cost. 80-20 rule is a very famous marketing rule, and in this case we can say that top 20% of keywords will usually take more than 80% of clicks or cost or impressions. And when we divide it into two groups, we can see that in this case that's really true. So top 20 keywords have total cost of $70, and bottom 80% of group have total cost of only $247. Let me show you another grouping. Keyword first and second word is very useful when you have a large ad group with many keywords which have common subthemes, and you group them by their starting and second keyword. So now we see that we have three keywords which start with batch, we have three keywords which start with conversion, and we have 93 keywords which start with convert. So I will expand that group and see that we have 9 more keywords which have second word CSV. And now we can see all the keywords which have first word convert and second word CSV. So with that information, we can easily break down ad group into smaller ad groups. We can just drag and drop this group to a new ad group or transfer it to some other ad group. We can even go deeper and say that we want to use multi-level grouping, which is called hierarchical grouping. So for example, we will use hierarchical grouping where the first grouping will be top 10 by clicks, and then second grouping will be by value keyword. Okay. Now we have root groups which are top 10 and others, but when we expand some of the groups, we'll have another level of grouping which groups all top 10 items by keyword. When we expand that group, we'll get all the keywords which belong to that group. Last grouping we have is statistical significance grouping, but I will explain that in the next section.